The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. Apologies for the 12 or so hour delay, but these are the Week 6 spread picks, game previews, SUPERLOCKS, no more Survivor, because myself and Geoff Fienberg have joined the pile of people who are now dead.
A couple things. In real life, I'm actually still in GUPS because, as I told you, I tricked myself in week 2 and got lucky. So I still had the Patriots to use last week, but for show purposes, I am out. But maybe I'll still mention it because I'm alive in GUPS number 2. Sorry for the delay. It's my fault and my people and their calendar. And the fact that I'm here today, some people would consider a sin because I'm not repenting.
I mean, there's no bigger hoax in the world than calendars, Geoff. You have to figure that out.
It's true.
People could talk about 9/11, inside conspiracies, we never landed on the moon, all these deep fakes, calendars, pure fake news.
That is, while it's so obviously true, I actually never just considered that for the moment. Although each individual moment, we all sort of be like, that's so annoying, it's made up.
Yes.
From like the religious holidays to the Hallmark ones. All of them.
Just do away with calendars and years. Make people feel better about themselves. It's a part of the self-esteem movement. Then people don't have to be like 64. They can just be nothing.
Without sports, there'd be no next year. And Tim and myself, I guess, could speak to that, and we'll get there.
All right, so let's introduce the third member of the show. It's right here, a 1994 Canadian dollar. That's worth like 3 pennies in America. But, you know, we don't have pennies in Canada, so we have to use a loonie. The fourth member of the team behind the cameras, switching the show, it is Paul Shaughnessy, and he has his microphone with him if he needs to chime in. And I do want to let everyone know to smash the like button for the episode. Leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Give me your favorite spread pick for week 6. That way, you can be in a draw for 20 DK bucks. The giveaways are the fifth member of the show here. Hey, I got more of them. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast. 5 stars, something nice about the show. DraftKings handle, boom. You'll be in the draw for 20 DK bucks as well. Winners announced every Monday on the Pat Mayo Experience. And playing the Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Listeners League. The link is in the description of this video or podcast. And you can find all my work up on dkplaybook.com. Now that we have that out of the way, the 27th member of the show, Tim CUST.
Tim CUST.
That is not my name.
You've been downgraded.
Evidently. That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't even get to be in the opening credits anymore. It's just like, you know, when the movie is on TV and they have to go to another movie really quick for time purposes, and they do like a split screen, they roll the credits really, really fast. That's where you appear.
That's fine. Doesn't bother me. That whatever.
I like to go back to he's that like classic last guy in that TV show credit.
I'm the Jason Alexander.
It has some
Jason
panache, as Tim would say.
Yeah.
He's been launched.
Blue Bloods, like, and Tom Selleck.
Isn't Tom Selleck? I've never seen Blue Bloods, but
I
I
love
assumed
Blue
he was the
Bloods.
star of like.
He is, but I think it's last.
Does his mustache get
because
top
there
billing?
are some other stars, at least like
who
for
are-
network TV.
Who
Hold
are
on.
the stars on Blue Bloods?
Well, Donnie Wahlberg.
Oh, okay.
And Bridget Moynihan, Brady's first baby mama.
Do you think that's awkward between them, Donnie and Bridget? With Donnie obviously being such a huge Pats fan.
No, I think she loves the Pats because her son loves the Pats, and you've seen. I think they're very cordial.
So
and
that
more than good.
She hasn't poisoned the kids against Tom, like a lot of divorced parents do against one another, myself included.
No, I don't know. It seems like it's a
How
very.
could Jeff possibly answer that question?
No, it seems very. Listen, in the little window we like to see, it seems very healthy. I don't know.
As a lot of people can attest, what you see on the internet doesn't necessarily reflect real life.
Yes.
And that goes for a lot of things. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's recap the week. I actually have the correct scores, I think, unlike last week. Geoff and I went into the week tied, and we both went 8-6-1. So we're both 41-36-1. CUST was 7-7-1. He's now 39-38-1. Everyone's above 500. We're still losing the VIG, but, you know, it's much better than usual. The coin, just real rough go for the coin. 6-8-1, 30, 47-1 for the year. The coin trying to defend its title. It's going to need some hot weeks here to come up. You and I both lost our Super Lock, Geoff. Tim won his, so he is winning the Super Lock contest at 3-2. I started 2-0. I'm now 2-3. It wasn't great. And CUST free money teaser had 2 outright losers on it, so he didn't win.
I'm never amazed. I don't care, what we think of the teams. You blindly tell me a 6-point underdog won today, an 8-point underdog won today, a 10-point underdog won today. I don't care. Basketball, football, anything, a plus 250 team winning in baseball. I don't care. We see it so many times for it to actually pretend to think that that's impossible. What amazes me the most about how good they are in the desert, where I'm going this week, and I'll be around Sunday. I'll be at the Westgate.
Wear your Raiders gear. Support the home team.
It's annoying enough. Well, whatever. I'll talk about it later. But I will be in Vegas this week helping build the future casinos. The games that they're able, how good they are at identifying the games that they're going to be and suckering people into them for the most part.
I have a whole theory on this. Both of you and I use Chicago. As
It felt like
no. Let me
money.
talk it through.
The Rams and Seahawks game is the perfect example of it.
Yeah, I got that one right. Rams.
Yeah, the Rams would cover and lose by a point.
Well,
either way, here's the whole thing. What we failed to recognize as it pertained to the Bears last week, and it only occurred to me when the Raiders jumped up to, I don't know, what the 17-0 lead.
Which part of it?
That Tim was big, and even on the Sunday show, big on the Raiders outright winning this game. And Tim was absolutely correct, absolutely nailed that. Congratulations, Tim. That was a great call.
99-yard game-winning drive on the Bears.
After they roughed the punter, and then they went for it on a fake punt. Then it had to be reviewed in order for them to get it. And it would have been great if they didn't get it, because then Chicago
would have been field goal.
They would have had to kick a field goal
with the
if they didn't get the timeouts, and they would have covered the game, and it would have been glorious. I lost a bunch of money. I lost a whole bunch of 6-leg, 5-leg, 4-leg parlays on it. It was awful. But what we failed to consider is we thought Oakland was going to be incredibly under-cursed based on the way he was talking about, but we forgot Chicago was a Super Bowl pick. Well, I mean, the Chargers over Bears. So they were cursed to begin with, and we failed to realize it.
Fair enough. But that game, I mean, Vegas was all week, nope, 5.5.
Didn't even move the line.
No. And then Sunday, they finally move it to 6.5. And they're like, okay, you guys really want us to move. It'll make you feel better if we move it. Okay, here we go. We'll move it. Because people are still going to play it on the 6-point teaser, the 6.5-point teaser, whatever. And even if you literally just bet this league on fading this year, sometimes it can be dangerous because in-game variance is undefeated. It is undefeated. But if you just bet this league, Pat, on against the public and fading reverse line movement, I don't know of a reverse line movement game this year that has lost. And the Chargers, I mean, that thing was over ATS in the first quarter.
I was going to say, I'm regretting not super locking that in, because I was all over that one.
And then, and even when we did the show, but when we did the show, even I mentioned that this line is Denver could be 2-2. The line would be completely different. But when we did the show, the reverse line movement hadn't kicked in. I mean, that game was the Chargers were taking more of the money, more of the tickets, moves from 6.5 to 5.5 on a team. Denver now, people are like, they suck, Flacco, and maybe they might still suck. The Chargers are in a bad spot, but prove it what it will. Vegas just sat there snickering. And I someone pointed out to me, but if you can find the reverse line movement game this year that is lost, I can't think of one. Well,
I'll throw this out here. We pick all the games. Obviously, we don't bet all the games, but the efficiency of the NFL market in terms of betting odds are off the charts good. They're the best of any sport. The only soft market right now in the NFL are props. They cap your wager. In my public props so far, I'm 19-10.
Killing it. You were on
I got off to a really, really hot start. Now I'm going 4-2 and 3-3 and 5-2. I need to have one of those sweep weeks again. But I got some props here for because I want to get to the games, Tim. Before we get into it, do you have anything to say?
No, I mean, I think I agree with pretty much all that's said. But one of the key factors in these reverse line movement games is the team that's the reverse lineman is going against, are they well coached? Oakland is a really well coached team. That's why they were going to win. Denver proved to actually have been far better coached than the Chargers were in that game. And that in part is why Denver won. So if you trust that the coaching staff is also competent, it's another reason to take a stab with that reverse line move.
Sometimes it makes no sense. Like there's
But if it was going against it, like put it this way, if it were going if the Texans were a team you'd want to bet because of reverse line movement, do not bet that.
Well,
But were the Jaguars a team I wanted to bet because of reverse line movement?
I would say that
skunk punked the Titans on a Thursday.
I would say that the biggest one to look at is twice as has happened to Detroit this season. And Detroit covered both
Detroit
those.
Happens to be better than we thought, and we're going to talk about it on Monday night.
They are still not well coached,
and they're still not respected. Hold on, but in terms of what we're talking about here, I don't think they have the cachet of the betting public yet either.
They're getting respect this week, and all the money's on Detroit.
It is coming, but you know how that stuff works. I mean, I would argue now, and we'll get there. Whatever. I don't want to get there.
All right, first game, Thursday night game. Giants at New England, minus 16.5. It could be up to minus 17.5. I've already bet it 16.5, so I'm going to go with that. 41 is the over-under for this game. I have some props from this game. I'm actually in on New England, minus 16.5. In fact, it is my super lock for this week.
I don't mind that.
I got some real money on it. And I bet this Jacoby Johnson, the new fullback for the New England Patriots, taking over from White Devlin. Don't even know what his first name. James Devlin. Anyway, he's played 41% of the snaps last week. Whenever you get a giant line for the Patriots in a game that they're clearly going to run the ball in, this guy is now going to be on the field close to half the time. And if there's one thing the Patriots like to do is get real tricky. We saw it last week, throw into Brandon Bolden for a touchdown. First touchdown, Jacoby Johnson, 50-1. Anytime touchdown, 12-1. So that's my take on this game. New England's going to hammer them. No Barkley, no Ingram, no Sterling Shepard. You have Tim's buddy Golden Tate with his steroid strength trying to beat the Patriots. No thanks.
I'll follow. I got nothing else.
I will too, and they're the first part of a 5-team tease.
What's how big is the tease this week?
It's a 6.5 point tease.
So you get them down to plus 10 or minus 10, sorry?
Yeah.
Well, then it's up to the coin to prevent the clean sweep. We have not won a game, picked correctly, that the three of us and the coin have all agreed on so far this year.
Really? The coin is bad.
Coin is taking the Patriots.
Oh, that's got to end. That's like I'm walking up to the roulette wheel, 12 blacks in a row.
Well, yeah, it's just annoying. Like the Patriots have played poorly the last several weeks, and yet they've covered two of the, they've covered a couple of these big spreads when they haven't played well, and they're probably not going to play well on Thursday. And I feel like they're probably going to cover. It's annoying.
A lot of it just I would almost want to look into who the top 5 defenses are this year and see what their numbers ATS are, because like the Patriots defense is covering them all these spreads.
Oh, they are. The Patriots offense is like middle of the pack at best, where the defense is top notch.
I mean, last week, the Buffalo game, Brady looked 42.
He did.
They block a punt.
I will say, over the past few weeks with the Patriots playing, I mean, the Bills game is one thing. Everyone kind of looks bad against the Bills defense.
Yeah.
But against the Skins defense, like, they moved the ball the entire game. He just threw another terrible pick in the red zone. They didn't get a 4th down. Like, I feel like they're saving their offense for when it can.
I think this team is built like the 03 and 02 Patriots and 04 Patriots, where they had to win on the defensive side and the offense just didn't have to screw it up. I think that's who this team is, and that might be a very efficient way to win in 2019 if you look at the way the NFL is going.
I'm not completely going to disagree with you on that, but I do. This offense feels like they are saving something for when the games actually count. Like they're not opening. Like they're only using like 60% of the playbook right now.
I don't know that they can. I think they're limited.
Well, yeah, but that's you. You've thought this every year for the past decade.
Okay, fine.
No, but okay, maybe at the moment, but they are letting those players like a Josh Gordon. He's still studying that 40% they haven't unleashed, but they'll be ready for it when it counts.
Yeah,
as
when January comes around, the offense might look a little bit differently. And maybe it doesn't need to. Maybe Tim's right. Maybe just use the Corey Dillon game plan. Turn around, hand the ball off,
first step, like the short passes for that are the runs,
and just your defense is going to be good. Like even in that game they didn't cover against the Jets, it was a special teams and pick 6 that let the Jets cover. So the only thing that I would hesitate on about this, I haven't hesitated on, but if you talk about like how the Giants cover and or win this game, historically the Patriots have struggled with mobile quarterbacks, and the way that the Giants beat the Bucs was all of a sudden you just unleash Danny Dimes in the running game, just drop back to pass, see nothing, take off running. I just think this Patriots defense is better than it's been probably for the past 15 years, and they can figure that part out, because who else is Darius Slayton really beating you? I don't think so.
Yeah, so going back to like the Ty Law, Brewski,
They don't even have Wayne Gallman in this game. They're down to Jonathan Hilliman and Elijah Penny.
Yeah, I think enough's been said.
All right, next game.
I mean, Stidham's going to play a quarter.
What's that?
Stidham is going to play a quarter.
That would actually worry me for the 16 and a half. Bad success rate of him coming into games and covering. Carolina and Tampa Bay. This game is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time because it is in jolly old London. You sound like you're from London, Geoff.
It'll be 6:30 where I am,
Fun.
and The Bachelor is a big Bucks fan, so there'll be attendance taken.
It's a good thing you're in Vegas and no one goes to sleep.
Yes, hopefully I got some Euro heaters going.
Tampa are 2.5-point dogs in their quote-unquote home game.
I am going to beat him for a second.
47.5 is the game total.
Because in the time when I used to be able to like pay a super attention and care about these sorts of things, these were the type of things I was enamored with. This setup the league has at that new stadium in Tottenham is beyond 5-star first class.
Agreed.
It is so beautiful. Any team would be lucky to play there.
And the Chargers have to play at like the scrub practice facility when they go?
I'm not really sure, but I want to put it out there that I think this stadium was built as like England's home base for the NFL now. I think the stadium was built with 2 fully functional, brand new NFL locker rooms, like not just using a visitor's room. This stadium looks magnificent. And obviously the EPL and the powerhouse teams in that league can afford NFL-type facility.
Everyone knows the Tottenham Hotspurs are one of them.
I think they are.
I have no idea.
Hotspur.
They got Bale.
Howdy, Hotspur.
They got Bale. And this Asian goal scorer, I couldn't
Say his name.
Sung Soo. He scores goals.
I didn't realize you were such an English Premiership fan.
Not anymore. Games aren't on TV.
They're not on TV?
Dazn got the Canadian rights for Premier League soccer.
They also have it for football. Doesn't stop you from watching.
No, but you could still get them on TV if you could pay for them.
Yeah.
The Premier League used to be like all the games used to be on the TSNs and the Sportsnets. I'm not a big soccer guy, but there's time I wake up and there's just good. I like intense first class like.
There's some jabroni.
It's not minor league. It's the top of the food chain soccer.
There's some jabroni who comes to the bar every single week when we go in to try to set up the games, and he's watching fucking soccer, and it is infuriating.
I get that part of it.
There's a soccer bar down the street. Fucking go there.
Anyway, so this facility, I mean, any team should be lucky to go there. The Chargers made their visit last year. I don't know what facility. Certainly this one wasn't open yet. So I think they've sort of done their token. And they don't go to London. They move into their new stadium next year. So we're not given a game. We've given our game, and we're not given one for an extended period of time. But I know Tim, I used to love that sort of thing, and I know Tim eats that stuff up.
So I certainly do.
So in the interest of conserving time, which we're trying to do.
Well, that's my fault.
That was a good 6 minutes on the stadium in London.
I love it. I like Tampa. There's no spread value.
I like Tampa as well.
It's hard to find myself betting that game. It is amazing. Carolina has won 3 straight games since getting punked on national TV on Thursday night, though.
So
by Tampa.
So here's the thing. Here's why I would lean towards Tampa in this game. And it all has to do with the run defense. Like Kyle Allen has not been good so far. McCaffrey has been amazing. McCaffrey, now dealing with a back injury, has cramping problems, and you're going up against the toughest run defense in the league. We saw last time they were able to limit them. Now, I would expect Carolina to adjust, and maybe McCaffrey has a better game, but I don't see this being the 200-yard Christian McCaffrey game. If they can just hold him to like 100 total yards, they're going to win.
I agree. They match up against Carolina's strengths very well. Part of the reason this line has been moving hard in our favor for the Tampa side.
Agreed.
God willing, it can get to 3, and then it won't just be a lean. It'll be real money.
It was -1, -1.5. It was 2 this morning. It's 2.5 now. So yeah,
if it gets a 3, I could actually see myself betting it. It'll probably start a parlay because I'm going to be up, baby.
Oh yeah,
5:30 Mountain Time. Vegas 3 or 2 hours.
No idea.
Pacific time.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And again, just something to note: the powers of a primetime ass whipping. And Carolina, literally, it's taken every game after. The market still didn't trust them.
But now they do.
Arizona, a field goal. Houston,
Four.
no, Houston's too good. Houston, like we just saw Deshaun Watson evade the Chargers, and people probably had a different opinion about the Chargers 2.5 weeks ago than they do today, but what they're actually capable of. And last week, a tough game against Jacksonville, and now the market is like, give us Kyle Allen, give us Carolina. I'm going to say Tampa.
Tim?
Tampa Bay. It will soothe the souls of the people there after the Rays get blown out tomorrow night.
Does anyone care about the Rays?
They filled up their stadium last night.
I don't.
But isn't this like when the Tampa Bay Lightning sell out hockey games in the playoffs and they have to give away tickets to people so that it sells out?
It would be an amazing story if the Rays win. Part of me just wants Houston to win because I want Houston Yankees.
No, I need the Dodgers and Houston to both lose Game 5, so Tim's World Series pick is just done.
Why would you cheer against me?
Because it's pretty funny. Because I put money on the Cardinals just because I assume that they're un-Andercursed and you hate them
I
so
picked the
much.
Cardinals in this series.
But you didn't. You picked the Dodgers. Isn't it Dodgers Cardinals?
In this series.
This
Cardinals
series,
are playing
Cardinals are playing the Braves. The Dodgers are playing the Nationals.
Oh, the Dodgers are playing the Nationals. So I have the Nationals to win then.
Oh,
Yes,
the Nats have no chance.
But he has the Cardinals and Dodgers meeting and Dodgers advancing. That's
okay.
what he was referring to.
Correct.
So I have whoever's playing against. I just blindly took the other side of that because they were plus money and Tim had picked the Dodgers.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it.
Oh, that's great news. So that's 2 consecutive games. Round of New England, round of Tampa, coin included.
Coin better not bring us down.
So in the fairness, before we get to the 4 o'clock set of games, I've moved one of the 4 o'clock games into the early slate, Tim. We have Dallas at the New York Jets.
Why are we doing this?
The Jets are 7-point dogs at home. 42.5 is the over-under. Now, you were pretty fired up here for the Jets. You were talking about their playoff chances. You were fired up. Sam was back. You were fired up. Herndon was back. You were fired up. Mosley is back. And then the last 2 days, Herndon is now out. Mosley is now out. Would you put safe space Sam into not only a safe space, but like a panic room to make sure he's not dead by Sunday at this point?
I am still very excited to have Sam back because I think he solves a lot of our problems. Not having Herndon is awful, and Mosley is the engine that makes the defense go. So that really hurts. But I mean, the Jets have the second or third easiest schedule left. There's other than the Patriots and Bills, I don't think there's any good teams left on the schedule. We have 4 losses, so we basically have to run the table, and starting 0-5 kills you. So any sliver of a hope starts with beating Dallas. I mean, Dallas beat 3 terrible teams, and then they've lost twice in a row and haven't looked all that great. Against New Orleans, they couldn't get anything going offensively. And against Green Bay, they were dead and given last rites before they scored some cosmetic points to make that game look closer than it was. I think this number's out of whack. I think that Dallas ought to be favored. I think the 7 is silly. I think Sam solves a lot of our problems. So I like the Jets in the game, and I'm going to tease the Jets up to 13.5.
New York Jets plus 13.5.
I love the Jets. It's one of my favorite games of the week. I agree with Tim in that the spread is off the mark here. Jets are getting key pieces back. They're going to be out with both tackles. They got
it looks like they both might end up playing now. That was the last report that I read.
That sucks. They got a game first. Let me keep going with my pro-Jets argument for this week. The Dallas plays the Eagles next week. Could be a clear look ahead. The sharps were all over this thing out of the gate, Tim. I think it opened at 8 or 8.5.
No, it opened at 8.5 before they knew that Darnold was definitely going to be back. Then as soon as Darnold got announced,
the public is pounding Miami. I'm all about
Dallas.
Dallas. I'm all about the Jets here. I think this touchdown is more than fair. Although I do expect you could probably find it higher. So I would keep an eye for that.
Certainly can. You can.
And I would like it higher, at least to, maybe the peace of mind of an extra half point. But I like the Jets. It's a potential super lock. Probably won't go there, though.
So, Tim.
Real money.
You said this is the linchpin. This is what you said to me. To win this game, the Jets can make the playoffs.
I think they can if they win this game because of what's left on that schedule. Said outside of the Bills and the Patriots games, I think the Jets are even with or better than every team left on the schedule. So, I mean, you have to assume they're going to give away if I give the Patriots and Bills games away, that we go from 4 to 6 losses. One more loss this week would be 7. So then you're not going to get in at 9-7.
Okay,
So
Cowboys, you're picking them. You're picking them to win this game, basically.
yeah, I think we do get the game. Yeah.
Okay, Patriots next week. That's a loss. Jags at Jags week 8.
Yeah, I think that's a win.
Okay,
No.
at the Dolphins.
I think that's a win.
At home against the Giants.
I think that's a win.
At the Redskins.
I think that's a win.
At home against the Raiders.
I think that's a win.
Yeah, that's the one that he had in the preseason as a loss. At the Bengals.
That's a win.
At home against the Dolphins.
That's a win.
At the Ravens.
That's a win.
At home against the Steelers.
That's a win now.
Week 17 at the Bills in a game where the Bills could be clinched.
The Bills could have a bye clinched, for heaven's sakes, at that point. Who knows? I think they're the most talented team in the AFC East, and I think that's a loss. Like I said, I'm giving the Bills and Patriots those wins. I think we're...
Whoa. Last week you had no faith in the Bills. Now that maybe the Jets have another chance, you're back into the mix and you love the Bills' chances trying to curse the Bills. You were out on them last week against Tennessee.
I think the Bills may be the second best team in the AFC. What I saw from the Chiefs on Sunday night very much bothered me, and the way they played against the Lions.
You think that the Bills are better than the Chiefs?
I don't know. I think in a neutral, if you made them, I don't know. I think they're very close. I guess I would have to just barely edge the Chiefs and maybe make the Bills the third best team. But then I think Buffalo is pretty clearly the third best team in the AFC.
How many straight wins are the are they going on here? How many straight wins are the Jets about to rattle off?
They would lose next week, then they would win 8 in a row.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Which has happened.
Okay.
But I'm saying that you need to win this week for that to matter. Things could just combust after this. People lose their momentum because then they're going to start 0-6. It won't be 0-5. It'll be 0-6. They will lose to the Patriots, and then it really is everything over. So I really feel like the sliver of hope we have hinges on this game against the Cowboys.
So here's the thing. I want to not only rewind 7 days ago, Geoff. I want to rewind 14 days ago and listen to what Tim had to say about not getting excited about the Jets.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I know what you're trying to do. I'm just defeated. Like I got no spark. What can I tell you? It's a sad place to be.
Does that mean they're not going 12-4?
12-4. They might not win 2 more games. Well, they weren't going to win any games until Sam comes back. And then they might win 3 or 4. I don't know, man. Like it's rough. Things are not going well. But you know what? Like I'm
smiling about.
Yeah.
Like I've said,
I told you have Sam Darnold on your team. The only reason that he's your starting quarterback is so you can tank for the number 1 pick next year. How embarrassing is it going to be when Darnold comes back? They maybe win a game, you get all fired up, and they lose to Miami.
It won't be that devastating because I've accepted that this year is going to be a train wreck now. And I'm a changed man. Next year, I will not be overexcited about the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
They'll get like a 4th overall pick. Tim's going to add that guy to the team.
This last couple of weeks has been a real moment of clarity for me. And I've learned something. I've grown. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I've got nothing left to be emotional for. Then I've learned my lesson, and I will not ever again be over enthusiastic about this team. I will be measured from now on. It hurts too much to be in this circumstance, and I don't want to feel this pain again. So I won't allow myself to get excited again next time. So I don't think I'm being excited. I think I'm being reasonably, cautiously optimistic.
You have them if they beat Dallas this week. That now they're going to go 10-6.
I think it's a real possibility given the tomato cans that are on the schedule and the talent that we'll have the better quarterback in almost every game. That matters.
Okay, here's the thing. The Jets are absolutely god-awful. Now, they're better with Darnold back. I'm not even going to say that Colombo is better than Darnold. I'm not going to say that because I'm a reasonable person, Geoff. But they're still not good. And if Dallas gets their offensive lineman back, what has Dallas done so far? They've run fucking train over shitty teams. The Jets are a shitty team. Dallas is going to run them out of New York. Dallas is my pick.
We have the 10th best defense in football.
Coin agrees with me.
Dallas is unlikely to run it through the Jets. The Jets are a very good defense.
Jets, very good defense.
Top 10 in DVOA. Now, I mean, not everybody feels this way. I think DVOA is a useful statistic. Now that we're 5 weeks in to start evaluating teams.
Oh, so now it's a useful statistic.
Like, I think it's a useful barometer to consider the skill level of teams. The Jets are in the top 10 on defense, so I'm waiting for. Why are you laughing at?
Your relationship with DVOA is one of my favorite things about the show. And it doesn't come up enough, but everyone just sees right through it that we don't even have to break it down.
He had them. We had a talk last week about how long it would take for Tim to call the Jets a playoff team again. And he said he wouldn't do it even next year going into it. It has taken him 6 days.
And my pick was going to be that time a week or two after American Thanksgiving where he'll just randomly be bored one afternoon and tweet on, and he'll notice, oh, in 2020, this day's a Sunday, and he'll tweet, this day next year, the Jets will be clinching their playoff spot.
So Dallas for...
And he promised he wasn't going to do it.
Or I'm not
in
going
one
to.
of these last couple shows.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, but you just called them a playoff team.
I said if they beat Dallas, they can certainly.
And you just said they're going to beat Dallas, so...
Yeah, but I wouldn't super lock it. I certainly wouldn't super lock it in. I mean, I do appreciate that.
So you think that a 7-point underdog at home is going to outright win, and that's not your super lock?
No.
No, that shouldn't be your super
better
lock.
on the
Why?
Oh, the spread, you mean? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought he was going to change
No,
the game. And say,
if
I'll
you
pick
think that
them
they're going to win
outright.
outright and you're getting 7 points, why wouldn't that be your super lock?
No, there's a couple other.
You gotta wait
numbers
for
that
the-
are better on the board.
All right, let's fly through these. Cincinnati at Baltimore. Cincinnati is a bad team. Baltimore's pretty good. -12 is the spread. 48's the over-under. Baltimore's like Dallas. They play a shitty team. They're going to roll. I like Baltimore.
See, I completely disagree. I almost look at what they did week 2 versus Arizona. They haven't covered a game since the week 1 versus Miami. I think the spread is so far out of line, in my opinion. Cincinnati and Arizona are essentially equal, and I'm not saying that they'll play as well versus Baltimore as Arizona did, but I see what the point number they had to lay. I'm getting 3 more in this contest. I see no difference. I think there's actually spread value. It's hard to put real money on the Bengals, but give me that 12.
This is not going to be a part of me Super 7 betting wise. Like, I'm not playing this game, but
yes,
I think Baltimore just
Harbaugh historically does kill
they're just
the
going to
bad
run the
teams.
ball 75 times. The Bengals have no way to stop it. Like, it's a different game to play against Arizona. Like, both Arizona and Cincinnati play up style games, but Cincinnati basically garbage time covered that game, and then they gave it away at the end because their defense sucks so much. But against Baltimore, like, they're just not going to have the opportunities to get that many possessions to score that many points. Like, they were actively bad for most of that game. The only saving grace for Cincinnati's offense this week, Baltimore struggles against slot corners or against slot receivers, and Tyler Boyd is the only thing doing anything in this offense right now. So they take him away, Cincinnati's got nothing else. So I'll take Baltimore.
God willing, Courtney Glenn could finally play a game for the Bengals because their offensive line is just worst place. So if he plays, I'd like it even more.
I like the Bengals a lot in this game. I'm going to play them.
You're going to play them? Are they your super lock +12?
They're in the very, very, very small circle of teams.
Are they on the teaser to 18
Put
and
it
a
this way.
half?
Yes, they are. They're the third part of the teaser. And look, put it this way.
I like that. I could see the Bengals on one of my
That
teasers.
is the game.
No,
Actually, no. Dallas beating the Jets like 33-0 is probably
if
the
you get
loss.
blown out at home when your quarterback is healthy by the Browns, you should not be laying double digits into anybody. That's all I'll say.
Next game. Oh, Houston and Kansas City. This is probably going to be the game that's on most people's TVs if they just care about watching fun football. The over-under has dropped in this game massively.
The spread is dropped.
It opened at like 58.5. It's down to 55. It's -5 for the Chiefs. Now, here's what we're looking at. Tyreek Hill's practicing, but there's no word yet on whether he can take contact. So he's a legit 50-50. Sammy Watkins is straight up just not going to play in this game. Mahomes is banged up, but he is practicing. Everyone on the other side, minus like Kenny Stills, pretty healthy. We've just watched Kansas City not cover 2 games in a row. And we thought without Darius Leonard that it would be a situation, and without Malik Hooker, that how in the hell is Indianapolis going to slow down Kansas City? You were pretty hip to. Was it you or Tim who had Indianapolis?
I had
You.
Indianapolis. I was the only guy with Detroit the week before.
Yep.
I don't know. They're prone to just letting.
Here's the difference.
Even though I'm shocked they lost the game, and I thought for the Colts to even cover would be backdoors that would be available, but give me the difference.
So here's the 2 differences. One, The offensive line for Kansas City is incredibly banged up. They can't block for Mahomes.
Their
at this
defense
point.
line banged up too.
And their defense isn't good. So
Okay, fair. Yeah.
that's sort of
The
meaningless.
defense actually played pretty reasonably Sunday night. That was the least of their problems.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's
well,
not like the Colts offense is
Do
awesome.
you want to know something else?
But here's the biggest thing for this game. When you go up against Detroit, their defense is actually quite good. And I completely overlooked that. I completely underrated it, but it is legitimately very solid from all three levels of their defense. The Colts, they have good players on defense, but they also have an amazing coach who can
and a good roster overall.
and who can adapt to situations. They completely changed their defensive scheme and found out what slows down Patrick Mahomes and just took their best shot, and it worked. You know who's not going to do that? Houston. Straight up. Kansas City -5.
There was 7.5s on Monday, and this thing got steamed. Now, don't confuse this with anything that has to do with public or reverse, because when they react to the action, there's nothing reverse about it.
They're
Vegas
taking
is
Houston money.
Yeah, they're afraid. When they stay still and they're taking the money, that's when you want to get worried. The Chiefs are banged up. O-line, D-line, receiving core. You do almost make that death nail point that, like, yeah, but Houston. It's scary, but give me Houston. God, do those early week numbers sound fantastic. Kansas City, guess what they're doing on Thursday?
Playing the Chargers.
No, thank
Broncos.
God. They're playing a
Broncos.
division game. So, Mahomes already in a bit of a, I don't know if he's a little banged up. Didn't
He
look
is.
good.
He's dealing with an ankle injury, but
He has been since week 1.
So we'll see. And amazing for all like I don't know anything. Like I sit here, Kansas City at home. I want to say in prime time now or at night, they've lost at least 3 straight games. They lost Sunday. They lost the AFC title game. They lost the Chargers like 2 or 3 weeks before that at night at home in Arrowhead. And I can't remember the one before, but I'll assume they won.
Patriots.
Well, the Patriots was the AFC Championship game.
No, in the regular season as
Oh.
well. They lost a primetime game to them. Yeah, I'm going to play Kansas City, but I don't like it. They certainly wouldn't bet it. I want nothing to do with it. That's for sure. I think these two teams are very difficult to pick up right now. If Mahomes is still really, it depends how bothered he is by his. I mean, if he is really bothered by his ankle, I think the Texans will probably win. But I think he'll be good enough to be able to get this done. But this has all the makings too of 34-31 Chiefs, and you don't get your cover. So I'm not happy with it.
I think it goes the other way. I think the under is the way to play this game if you're going to play it. Everyone just assumes there's going to be so many points in this game. Just watch it not happen. Because that's how this works.
I'm still waiting for a Hopkins touchdown.
Maybe
I'm
it
the
never
guy.
comes.
I'm the guy in my league waiting for it.
This is the one that had probably the biggest movement of the week, and I was surprised. New Orleans at Jacksonville. New Orleans opened as a 1-point favorite. They're now a 1.5 dog. Jacksonville's favored at home. 44.5 is the over-under. What? Yeah. It's a great picture.
It really is.
I
That'll
have a
be
feeling.
every episode moving forward this year. As long as Gardner Minshew is a quarterback, that will be his picture on this game board.
That's excellent.
He's dressed as like Reed Rothschild from Boogie Nights. It's fantastic news. Jacksonville's getting a lot of cred because they're good. It looks like Ramsey could be back for this game as well. But people love Gardner Minshew. Like he's like actively worth points in the
but
spread.
the early action isn't just the generic guy that loves Gardner Minshew. The early action is sharp and it's on the ball here. The Jacksonville Jaguars should not have been a home underdog in this game. The Saints have had a great run under Bridgewater. They've risen, as I always expect good teams to rise when the backup is called upon. All facets. They're coming back down to earth.
Was that
here,
an
Pat.
allusion to your new favorite show, All Rise?
That's Pat. That's his. That's Tim's show. There's not anything on network that has me for a second right now, but we've been down that road.
New Orleans is going to win this game.
No,
So
no,
yes,
no.
yes.
Jacksonville at home has completely obliterated teams in this spot over the last couple of years, and they're going to do it on Sunday. It's supposed to be a scorcher in that part of Florida. They'll be in their black roadies. I'm not playing into this whole. I know the Saints are not sometimes as good on the road. Their defense
travels, man.
No, they're going to be gassed in this one.
So, and the biggest thing now, Ramsey being back could change this up.
No, this is the day.
If he can effectively shut down Michael Thomas, then I'm kind of with you. But here's the biggest thing. Let me finish.
My hands up.
I saw your hand. I'm sitting right across from you. I can see it. The Jags need to get pressure. That's how their entire defense works. Now, it's like a lot of defense, but they hinge on this happening. Who has the best offensive line in football? The New Orleans Saints. They're just not going to be able to rattle Bridgewater as the way that they want to and force him to get the ball out quickly. He's going to have time. And Sean Payton's just a really good coach. And I think we forget that.
The Saints have their spots. This is a spot where they are going to get cleaned. They're going to get cleaned, and it has no indictment on what I think their future prospects for the season could be, but it's a cross-conference game. Doesn't mean nearly as much. They're banking the important ones, and this is one that they're going to give. They're going to give it, and this early movement was sharp. It was sharp.
Well, you know who's the biggest non-sharp in the world is on it with you, the coin.
I tell you, it's watching the games this year. I'm really upset that they actually moved this game as hard as it did, because I love fading public dogs. And the public, I'm telling you, the public's even going to be on the Saints here.
They should be, because they're going to win the game. That'd be a smart move.
The Saints are now an overrated team. I believe. Hold on, let me explain myself.
If you asked them to cover 5.5, I would be with you. If you asked them to cover 3.5, I'd be with you. You're asking
myself.
They can now lose by a point and cover the spread.
The Teddy Bridgewater Saints are now an overrated team in the public perception, and they're going to get got this week.
All right, Tim, it sounds like you're with me with the Saints. I think their defense is
but
just...
not with as much confidence as you. These teams are next to each other in DVOA, so they're pretty evenly matched. However, I'm going to take the Saints with a little bit of trouble. I mean, basically, this is a number where you're asking who's going to win. I don't think the Saints are going to lose, and I'm going to tease up the Saints just to be sure.
So New Orleans plus 8?
Yeah.
Second half in that freaking heat wave in their black unis, they're just gonna walk off the field.
Yeah, it's not like it's old school Buffalo coming down to play in Miami. It's not like I realize they play indoors, but New Orleans is incredibly hot. Most of these guys just played in Florida and Alabama and Georgia throughout their college careers.
They're gonna get got. The Jacksonville Jaguars steamroll a few teams.
I mean, we already know where your super lock has to be. Then I can't imagine.
No, there might be other ones, but it's on the short list. I like the Jets in that 7 a lot, but him telling me about the offensive line reports today.
Those are just the reports.
Yeah, and it's
both Collins and Smith could still be out in that game, but I don't know. Philadelphia at Minnesota, the Vikings. -3. I am not betting this game because this feels like the biggest trap in the world, but I love Philly.
No. Again.
What's the one thing Minnesota does well? What is it, Geoff?
Throw interceptions in the end zone?
Not throw interceptions. Offensively, what do they do well and what do they want to do?
Well, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, and what is the one thing Philly does really well on defense? Stymies the run. So now you're asking Kirk Cousins to go beat a team that you know is going to score points. And I know Philadelphia's secondary is ass.
See,
but come on.
You're making it about all these other things. I'm making it about the public is going to get their ass whipped here.
Do you have the numbers on this? Because I'm not even entirely sure that's true. I don't think the confidence level in Philly is super high right now.
The confidence level that a team with street value is going to shit kick Kirk Cousins? You better believe it is.
Do you have the numbers on the game?
I'll bring them up.
Yeah, go look at them because this feels like a 60-40 game, and that's not a ton of money on one side.
On a road underdog, it is. Because that doesn't happen. 76%.
On Philly?
On Philly.
So, yeah, that's why I said it feels very trappy because I love Philly in this game.
And there's just screw Kirk Cousins. I want to defend one thing about
better
Kirk
coached,
Cousins.
Better quarterback, just a better team.
Mike Zimmer ATS. You're right. I'm playing I'm playing the stinkiness of it. In an alley, in the park, out back, I'll take the Eagles to beat these guys. But in this game, in Minnesota at home is a completely different animal 95% of the time. Philly, big game versus Dallas next week. Minnesota at home.
Tim?
Philly coming back to the place where they won the Super Bowl and embarrassed Tom Brady on national TV by strip sacking him to end the game. Coming back to play the team that they crushed to get to that Super Bowl. If you like storylines, the things are setting up well for Philadelphia. I think Philly can score.
The sight of you meeting Louis Anderson.
True. His secret dad.
Rita's son. I really like Philadelphia here. I think Minnesota is a trash team, and I think Philadelphia is a playoff caliber team.
See-
I get what Geoff's saying about the smelliness of the line, and I respect that, which is why this wouldn't go anywhere near tees. But I just don't respect the Vikings, and I think Dalvin Cook can and probably will be shut down by a pretty good front seven from Philadelphia. So I will take the Eagles.
It looks like you have something to say, Geoff.
No, I don't
Do
think so.
you?
Oh, yeah, I want to defend one thing about Kirk Cousins. He takes a lot of heat. He deserves
It's mainly from Tim.
98. No.
Not
He is universally like decapitated on the internet. And people as a mark use his like gender reveal video.
Oh, him missing with the mini football?
But people I think need to realize that I bet you that's where like the pocket of like the fluff was. Like I think that's exactly where he needed
No,
to hit.
I would go the other way with this.
Oh,
As-
yeah. How
as-
much is he paying you? To
No,
carry
I'm not
on
even a fan.
on a daily basis.
I would say that if it was like John Beck with his little mini carny hands, like if you're like an NFL quarterback, you have gigantic fucking hands, and you put something like little like that and like put it right there, and it's not. I can see him fucking it up. Tim once tried to throw me keys and missed by 10 feet, so I can see Kirk Cousins
Anyways.
missing by like a foot.
And I'm very like anti-gender reveal videos to begin with.
Me too.
And there was
That one
that
does
great
not-
gender reveal fail that made its rounds.
But that's only
last
because
week.
you're anti-gender.
I
You don't
really-
believe in it, like calendars. Just it's out.
No. I don't really. No. Okay, so yeah, there I defended, but I feel like he hit like the area where like the dust was. The lady who set it up was like, "That's the part you got to hit, not the big question mark."
All right.
Oh my God.
So Philly for me and Tim,
Like, come on, man.
Minnesota for Geoff and the coin.
I actually think that's a totally legitimate thing I just said.
I think that is absolutely ludicrous. And oh.
Oh, Tim's turn.
Yeah, Seattle at Cleveland. You realize this is going to have far less effect when the Jets are 0-7, right?
Whatever. Listen, I'll take what I can get.
Another team that the Jets got mollywopped by, the Cleveland Browns, in a primetime game, making them look ridiculous. Are you going to hear about your excuses again? Oh, great. Well, we've already been through that 8 times. I'm going to make this very simple, Geoff. Who was the world on last Monday night against San Francisco? The Cleveland Browns. Who was the world on the week before? The Baltimore Ravens.
Were they on the Browns on Monday?
On Monday night, yeah, a lot of people.
It's like
were.
5 points.
A lot of people were just like, Browns are just straight up winning. The Browns are back. It's all happening. And then now again, just like 2 weeks ago, the Browns are finished. They're done. Just take Cleveland in this game. It makes no sense why this should be just 2 points. No one is going to be wagering on Cleveland, I would imagine. What are you looking at? You have a weird face going here.
The Cardinals scored 7 runs in the first inning of an elimination game. I don't mean to date your moment, but that just jarred me.
Oh, wow.
Who are they playing?
Atlanta.
It's Atlanta, game 5, elimination. I just
Well, that's officially enough baseball for this fucking show. Get your
7-0.
fucking baseball out of here. Why don't you go to your fucking nursing home and go watch baseball? We're talking about football.
I love baseball playoffs.
That's great. You can stay at home all day and watch all 13 million hours of it. I like Cleveland in this game. The world is off of them, almost like you're talking about with Minnesota against Philly. Everyone's just going to take Seattle in this spot. I'll take Cleveland.
The Browns are so bad. It's so great to watch them on national TV the last couple. I mean, I've been right about this basically since April when I said the league doesn't know what it's doing by putting this team on primetime 3 out of 4 weeks.
Not really, though, because people are super interested in watching the Browns.
Don't you understand my take? I'm into it. If
Yeah,
they're
but you
one
know
and-
what? Not when you get routed like that. Nobody watched the second
Yes,
half.
because
No, I'm
people,
into it.
People love cheering. Let's listen to you. You probably watch every second of that game to see how badly Baker was playing.
I cheer for whichever side the tides of justice are floating in favor of. And right now it's for the Browns to be 5-11, and I'm in for that entertainment.
No,
because that's a trigger team.
I'm telling you, the best case scenario for the Browns is that they just go 8-8, and every week they're the best team. Now they're the worst team. Like, it's so polarizing. Like, they're all right. They have good players. Baker's inconsistent. Tim was probably right about Freddie Kitchens, not a very good coach, but
That wasn't just his opinion. That was a pretty universal,
sure.
like,
But Tim was
football guy.
Tim was pretty doubled down on this guy is an absolute travesty, and it turns out he was right. There's no offensive line here. Just when the world is now off Cleveland, back Cleveland. When the world is on Cleveland, do not back
Okay,
Cleveland.
This is a real tricky spot because, to your point, everything sets up for me to absolutely love
To
Cleveland.
smash. Like, if
they've
you-
just got annihilated in prime time.
If you asked me to set this spread after the Monday night game, I would have said Seattle by 6.5.
No, you couldn't lay that.
Before last week, the spread was -1 Cleveland.
Yeah, I know.
Now it's 2.5 the other way. 99 out of 100 times, I will ride with you at Cleveland. There are some real scary things that I feel really bad for Cleveland that despite everything else from the outside that they got to deal with, Seattle on the long week, them on the short week with a coach that doesn't have a clue, that to me just means like they could be so screwed. And I feel bad. Like, it's almost not fair. They're the team traveling cross country to come home.
Thursday teams the following week are either 9-1 or 8-2 against the spread in the following week so far.
And now we got Freddie Kitchens with less time. Oh,
So you're taking Seattle?
I hate it though. I can't bet it. I can't bet that because it just goes against too many things I believe in. But I don't want to touch this Cleveland team.
Tim, you're taking Seattle?
Oh yeah, this Browns team is just not good.
And I
the
guess-
numbers backing up.
The coin is taking Seattle as well.
And I guess to your point, everything I said kind of just like, yep. Everybody takes Seattle. Like, this is exactly what I mean. Everyone's afraid of Cleveland. The Cleveland stank is back. And I don't know who Cleveland plays next week, but we'll be like, but I'll do what I did last week. That was the
it might be
best
the-
game of Baker's career. The noise was the loudest, and he answered the
It
bell.
is. They play the Patriots next week.
and
And,
they win.
and people will be like, oh man, Baker
Yeah.
played so great against Seattle. They won by 20. They're going to go and play Tom Brady. And the torch will be passed and they're going to lose by like 58 points. They might get Ward and Williams back for this game.
Is that prime time?
No, thank goodness.
I could use more Baker.
Must
in
be
prime
like
time.
4 o'clock though.
Nothing,
Yeah, it's one of those 5 o'clock double headers. on CBS.
nothing made Tim happier than reports of, like, we have the DM thread that we have. And the reports came out that Baker wouldn't shake hands before the game. And Tim just, what a classless guy. Of course, this is expected. Then they showed the video of him actually shaking hands with everyone. Just Richard Sherman was lying about it.
So of course, as usual, you're mischaracterizing what I
Jeff,
said.
you're on that thread.
It's 100% accurate. You took the story and then you took that story that was proof false and used it to pile on everything else.
That's
That's
not how it
happened.
happened.
That-
Somebody brought it up in the
Paul,
thread.
you are on that thread
Yeah,
as well.
so Paul brought it up. Someone showed it to you, but you used it instantly to pile on him for every other fault in his life, according to you.
No, I just said that's incredibly bad form, and it wouldn't have been a surprise based on the type of character
No.
he has shown so far.
No.
Yes, I absolutely planted it there to see Tim's reaction, and he reacted exactly how I thought he would. That's producing.
Yeah, that was really weird. I don't really know.
I don't get it. Like, are you really jealous of Baker Mayfield? I don't understand where
No,
your
I'm
hatred
annoyed.
comes in.
I'm annoyed at all the people who thought that by the Browns tanking for all these years and putting together this team in just the right way, that they were going to shake up the entire way that football is done. And they drafted the perfect quarterback to do it. And I was like, I'm sorry, teams don't skip steps
And
like this.
listen.
Teams don't make all things new. There's nothing new under the sun. You can't recreate things from scratch in this league. And it wasn't going to happen. And of course, it didn't happen. And
But
so I felt-
but Baker actively triggers you.
no, well, I just
He
think
does.
he's annoying.
He gets you.
I don't.
Why
I
do
don't
you
like the
find
way-
why do you find him annoying? Because
I
you
don't like the
now
way
think
he-
he does things he doesn't even do.
I don't like the way he acts. I didn't like the way he.
Can you
acted in
point to
college.
things about the way that you don't like him acting? Just give me
I
specific
mean,
examples.
Accepting
perfect example-
sponsorships and doing commercials.
Oh, doing commercials, yeah.
Accepting radio. I mean, magazine like GQ cover
Yeah. I
interviews.
I mean, the perfect
Bad guy.
example was back in college when he put that flag in the middle of Ohio State.
Okay,
and
so
he-
you can't like Bosa's brother either then, because he just did exactly the same fucking thing.
He did it to show him up.
Bosa's brother's been thinking about a college game for
2 years.
3 years.
Yeah,
I
like-
would too if my college were disrespected like
So
that.
so
by
you're an
some-
even bigger loser than Baker is. Then is what you're
listen,
saying.
oh,
That's all Bosa did. If you're gonna
Well-
say one way that Baker, because he went into the place, won the game, planted the flag, and now Bosa's still thinking
That's
about it.
like
Bosa's a good
college.
guy, though. He's a really good guy. He's a model guy. Baker, he's just a piece of shit, though.
It's called getting revenge and teaching someone a lesson.
Tim
that
loves
is-
What?
Bosa because he's a Trump supporter.
What would Tim know about revenge? When has he ever gotten his revenge on anything?
In sports,
I've
I
had
don't know.
my revenge.
Baker owns real estate in Tim and Bosa's head. That's all I'll say about this.
This is true.
Well,
Does
he's going to need it. 'cause
Does
he's probably
Baker
not gonna
pay
have a
rent
job.
to Tim for all the space he occupies?
I don't know.
He probably
should.
should save it.
I
because he's gonna lose his
agree.
job.
I will only go as far to say is I do think for QB1 he wastes a lot of mental energy doing it's so demanding. And
Oh, but he plays such a cool drum solo when Genesis comes on. You see, and
don't-
you know, he's not got a beer with the best of them, right? Like he's such a.
But
cool
you don't rag on Aaron Rodgers for drinking beer
because
at
Aaron
games.
Rodgers isn't a big phony.
Aaron
Baker
Rodgers
makes
is like
no-
the biggest phony. Isn't
No,
that
I
like his
don't
entire thing? Is
I
that
don't
he's the
think so.
world's biggest phony?
No, I don't think
He's
that
friends
he
with
is.
fucking Ellen.
So
So you don't know about the whole Aaron Rodgers like phoniness.
I don't want
I
to go
don't
there.
I mean, his brother basically just came out and said it.
Yeah, Aaron is. Aaron. No, Aaron isn't real. Isn't genuine.
And I love Aaron Rodgers,
But,
just
okay,
like I
yeah.
love Baker Mayfield.
So yeah, Baker is being genuine, and I guess
He's
we can
being true
appreciate
to
that.
himself. If Tim is allowed to live his truth, I feel like Baker should be allowed to live his truth.
I just think he makes it harder on him. Everything he does makes it harder on himself. So I wouldn't want that.
I mean, that's true. I mean, the criticisms that Mayfield received are things that he's done to himself, and that writers have also done to him as well, I suppose, by
No, I don't.
overhyping when it wasn't fair.
I think some of the criticism is unfair, to be perfectly honest. But I think the fact that he lets like Colin Cowherd like get in his head, and
Does he let Colin Cowherd?
Yeah,
get
because
into-
he goes to the podium and like battles back. So obviously he's
what-
listening and watching.
So he can't. He has a phone, right? Someone texts him a 30-second clip. He's not gonna watch it.
They're not 30-second clips. I've seen the Cowherd.
Yeah, I don't think that he's sitting down.
diatribes on
Sure,
Baker.
you don't think someone's just like, hey, watch this quick Twitter clip. Hey, I'm gonna watch it. Hey, this is shitty. I'm gonna respond to this. People are fucking nuts. You have no idea what's going on. It's
Oh,
almost
I
like-
agree with that.
It's almost like
I
you're
agree with
talking about
that.
like internet life isn't real life. You have no fucking idea what Baker Mayfield does.
No, that's
No.
certainly true.
No, I'm not going to argue
But
any
you're
of that.
but you're putting, and this is all the media does, and
I'm
all the writers do to him specifically. And it's weird that it's him out of everyone else in the NFL that just we know exactly what he does. Here's what he's thinking. Here are his personality traits. Here's how he's being affected by everything. You don't have a fucking clue.
I don't
No,
disagree
all
with
we know is
anything
what
you're
we
saying.
see.
All
I agree.
I'm saying
All we
is
know
his
is what we-
antics make his job harder for him in the
And
end.
his antics
Maybe,
certainly suggest
maybe
the
that's how he
person-
thrives. He thrives.
Okay, maybe
Thrives underneath
maybe,
that pressure.
maybe.
He likes the
No,
spotlight.
no,
builds
he
himself
doesn't
up.
though. But he.
How do
does-
you fucking know? You just
Because
said you didn't know, and now you're saying, "Well, I know. I'm Tim."
No, but I do know what people thrive off of because he has been.
So you know exactly what every single person thrives on in the world.
No,
You do.
I have the case evidence to suggest that he's floundering under pressure and under thriving. He's not. Well, you know what? When he thrives, then we'll know it. But right now, he isn't thriving. It's
How
the
about this?
opposite.
The legitimate criticism is just maybe he's just not that good a quarterback.
Okay.
Maybe
And
that's the criticism you should go
The
with.
legitimate
Rather than,
criticism-
the spotlight is getting to him. That means you think that he's good and that he's crumbling under the pressure. When the
No,
fact
I'm
is,
saying
he
that
might
he
just
could
not be
have.
that good.
what
Yeah,
you're
his
saying.
accuracy is down. He is regressing. He is turning the ball over a lot. He calls hut and he's like running away. Now, part of that isn't all his fault. We've seen quarterbacks.
No, it's not all his fault. But
they
like-
have some deficiencies on that team that that's just part of football.
Great expectations
Their
are not
biggest
good for
weakness
anybody.
went against four guys who have all been drafted in the top 8 of the draft. The 49ers
Yeah.
D-line just manhandled. And that's what the 49ers are designed to do. And it was a bad matchup and they got.
Pat Thorman
it's basic-
Thorman pointed this out. And you can kind of live with this one too, because everyone really compared Baker to Drew Brees. That would be like his prototypical type of player that he could be, but he was a bit more mobile. But height-wise, game-wise, accuracy-wise, that's what Baker was going to be. Year 2, I believe it was, of Drew Brees, he got benched for Doug Flutie, and it led to them drafting Rivers.
He was horrible.
Yeah.
He was horrible. He would call hut. He would stare down David Boston for 4 seconds.
It was on super steroids.
And throw the football right into like a linebacker. Like that Chase Daniels interception early in the game where like you didn't know if he could see.
Yeah.
He literally threw right to the linebacker, exactly where the middle line, like the linebacker will be on 80% of huts. That was Drew Brees all year. It was
He'd
infuriating.
get bailed out in playoff games with bogus 15-yard penalties to give them a chance to go to overtime.
Oh, we still lost. Fuck off.
Next game. We got to fly through these here because we're on a time constraint. This is an easy one. Washington at Miami. Miami is a 3.5-point dog at home. 41 is the over-under. Case Keenum will actually be starting for the Washington Redskins this week. At least that's the latest report. Who knows if they're going to change their mind from here on out. Tim, is it an AP week? Because it feels like it is.
It has to be. I think Callahan will try to run the ball a ton. I think the Redskins will win the game, and I think they'll cover the number. I think, it's an unwatchable football game. I mean, if the Skins don't win now, when are they ever going to win? I think they are the better team, so we'll take them.
Pat, this could be my super lock. The Skins are going to crush them.
I feel like that too. Which
The
means
Dolphins are horrible. They've been off for a week, and people think that they're less bad than they were. People were ready to bet them and did bet them versus the Chargers, and we saw what happened, and we really do know how bad the Chargers might really be. They're so bad. There's not enough. I will bet against the Dolphins real money
until they cover.
If it's under a touchdown for anybody in the league, that is like a guaranteed wager.
And this is anybody, right? Because of the fact it's Washington. And
I don't care. I don't care.
That you guys didn't bring it up, but I mean, I need to get my credit in what I do. I did pick Gruden to be the first coach fired on our preview show this year.
Good call. And that's enough. But yeah, Washington covers. Washington probably big, to be perfectly honest. I don't know where these guys are going to go with their next head coach. Snyder has literally done every single route. He has brought back the old successful coach.
Brought in Spurrier.
He did the college legend in Spurrier. He did the Redskins alumni hero in Gibbs. He's done the unconventional offensive coordinator, like next man up wizard maybe in Gruden. Like he has tried every single route. Schottenheimer.
Maybe it just turns out he's an awful owner and he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
I think he had Sean McVay on his staff, and he let him walk.
Zach Taylor as well.
Yeah. So who knows what route they're going to do? There's a lot of speculation they might dump the bucket at Harbaugh, who could, Michigan.
That would actually, I think that would actually be the best move to do. But Tim, did you see who said
Michigan wants him out of town?
Yeah. Did you see who's interested in taking the Washington Redskins?
Mike McCarthy.
No, who?
Rex Ryan.
Well, why wouldn't
sign it up? Just let's have that. I'm in for that.
Why wouldn't he be? He shouldn't get another head coach.
And do you know who they've already offered the job to?
Like
Greg Williams.
Greg already had that job,
so he can say at a podium that he's been offered the job, but's turned it down.
No, it came in the mail. I'm just waiting. So round to Washington, including the coin. Late games: Atlanta at Arizona. Like some of these games are just truly brutal this week. Arizona is getting 2.5 points at home. They're plus 2.5. 51.5 is the, okay. So 2.5 plus 2.5, 51.5 is the over under. I don't know what to do with this stupid game. Atlanta fucks me every single week.
Atlanta cannot block. Atlanta cannot tackle. Atlanta cannot put pressure on quarterbacks.
What happened?
Atlanta cannot cover a team with mediocre receivers. Atlanta is good for one thing, and it's gaining passing yards when they're getting their ass kicked. Arizona.
The only bet
I wish it was 3. The public still thinks Atlanta's good.
The only bet you should make in this game is Zane Gonzalez over 7.5 points. We talked about it on the show on Sunday morning. Remember, Tim? That's the one problem I have with Arizona. They're going to stop at the 3-yard line and fucking kick a field goal every time. It makes no sense.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it does or doesn't make sense. It's what they're going to do. So, there's no point even complaining about it because it's just going to happen every single time. So, whatever. It's to the point now where people should stop complaining on Twitter every time it happens. It's always going to happen. Stop complaining about the sun rising in the east. It's just how things are. But I'm going to take the Falcons. It sounds terrible, but they're a dome team. They get to play indoors. I still think Ryan and this team has offensive talent. I just don't respect the Cardinals.
I'm
Just-
taking it. I'm taking Atlanta too.
Did you guys see? You remember 2 weeks ago we talked about it after the tough loss to Carolina, and it was a really good. Deshaun Watson wasn't trying to belittle a reporter; he was just answering a
Yeah,
question.
he was explaining.
Yes.
This is his thing.
Well, it's a good niche to have.
It's an amazing thing. I'm enlightened by it. I love it. But
Was his thing? I didn't see it this week. Was it just like Atlanta doesn't even play defense?
there's terminal. I've loved football. I've loved it since I was 10 years old. But I didn't play football. I'm Canadian. Right? I wasn't
I'm
like
Canadian. I played football.
I played football.
I didn't have any little leagues or anything around. Like, I'm certain there's certain terminologies that I know from playing Madden and watching football for the last like 25 years. But there's a lot of certain things that I'm still dumb to. Don't get me wrong. I know the formations, but he described the Atlanta defense in a way that like you don't even have to know football to know they freaking suck and are abysmal. So I don't know. Do they have mediocre receivers in Arizona? Because that's all you need to
Yeah,
kill
they do.
Atlanta.
Christian Kirk is probably not going to end up playing in this game. The one hesitation that I would have is no team in football puts more men in the box to stop the run than the Cardinals do. Joke's on them. Atlanta can't run the ball.
If Arthur Blank watched that Deshaun Watson press conference.
Now, are you saying Arthur swear word and you're saying blank, or are you saying his real name?
That's his name.
Okay.
If he watched Deshaun Watson talk about his defense in baby terms, like to layman folk, I don't know how his coach has a job today, because that's even Quinn's like thing.
Atlanta for Tim and I, Arizona for Coin and Geoff. San Francisco at the Rams. This was at 3.5. It's now 3 for the Los Angeles Rams at home. And this is a really good test for San Francisco, because
It is.
if we have the working premise that Baker isn't very good, then he's a bad quarterback. You got a bad Jameis game, and maybe that's because the defensive line was so good. And who are the other two teams that San Francisco beat, Tim?
They beat the Steelers, and that's it, right? They have 4 wins. Steelers
They've had a bye
Buccaneers-
too.
Yeah, but that was 4. So they beat Jameis, they beat Baker, they beat Mason Rudolph, and who?
Week 1,
Kyle.
Bengals.
They beat the
No, that's the Seahawks that they played. Seahawks played the
Week
Bengals.
2, didn't they go somewhere week 2?
Arizona, maybe?
I think they were at Cincy week 2.
No, well,
Yeah, they did play Cincy, and they beat Andy Dalton.
okay.
This is the best
So that
offense
proves your
they're
point.
going to have seen in this season. And maybe their defense is up to the task, but just like you said about Seattle, the Thursday team coming over, all these teams have been excellent against the spread. It's the Rams at home. People are betting the 49ers. I'll take the Rams.
Biggest discrepancy in DVOA this week. The Rams are 17th overall. The Niners are the best team in football.
Do you think that the Niners are the best team in football?
through the first 5 weeks? Yes, I do. I think they
you
have
think
been the
that
best.
they're better than the Patriots?
I think that the Patriots' offense is their weakness. I don't think the Niners have a weakness. They have a top.
They
five
they have a weakness. It's their quarterback play.
I don't think so.
If relied upon, we haven't seen it yet. Every time Jimmy has had to really dig down and start dropping back and passing, and we know the Rams can score points, and maybe the defensive line will get to Goff, and that will be enough, and they won't have to. But if they get down, it's almost like the point you made about Chase Daniel last week, and I think that Garoppolo is way better than someone like Chase Daniel. But if they get down 14-0, if San Francisco can't run the ball as effectively as they've been doing and get into passing situations where you know that they're going to pass, can they score points? Because
yeah, I think this is one of the very few games in which Sean McVay is sort of fought to a draw with coaching talent in terms of calling offensive plays. I think that Shanahan is just as good as he is. I think that the Niners don't have as much offensive talent than the Rams do, man for man. But I think their defense is certainly up to the challenge to stopping the Rams. And we have seen teams slow the Rams down in recent history, so that doesn't bother me that much. I look at these two teams. I think these are two good teams. I think the Niners are the better team. So if I'm getting the better team with points, I will take them.
The 49ers are better where it matters. They're better on the offensive and the defensive lines.
It's true.
This Rams defense, and I talked about it on the preview show.
Joe Staley is hurt.
And I had to plug my nose when they started 3-0. But they finally lost a couple games, and I could talk about it. They went 3-0. I still don't think they should have beaten Carolina week 1. Drew Brees breaks his hand instantly, and Freddie Kitchens is a dum-dum.
Yeah.
So they're very lucky to have gotten the start they've gotten. They have so many deficiencies on that team. Big ones. Big ones. The secondary is aging, and it's a problem. Peters, Talib, Weddle. There's problems on that team. I want to pick 49ers. For the purposes of this, I'll pick 49ers. I wish I could bet it, but you know why I can't? Because I swear to you, Sean McVay and Wade Phillips are going to give something that we haven't seen yet. And I'm pretty confident in that. And I love both of them to sort of right the ship of the problems of their teams, their units. So that's the reason I'm afraid to actually bet the 49ers, but you're going to make me pick it. I'll say them.
One of the big keys to attacking the 49ers defense, at least where teams have been successful, and it was really surprising to see the Browns get away from it. Maybe it's just they had legitimately had no time to throw. But playing these two tight end packages and attacking the middle of the field with your two big men and your slot receiver. Now, the Browns were not equipped to do that. Just because of poor game planning and no ability to block anyone coming at them. But the Rams can do that, and they have two capable tight ends, and they have Cooper Kupp, who's basically been the best receiver in football so far, and that's where they're the weakest, in the spot where the Rams are the best. So I think that offensively that the Rams are going to be able to move the ball pretty easily against them.
I don't see it.
So, okay. Tennessee at Denver. Maybe my favorite game on the board.
Titans.
I'm with you. Titans. It's -2. Denver.
We're teasing these Titans up.
Yeah, so Denver's a 2-point favorite at home, 39.5. Is Z over under in this game? I think Tennessee's better than Denver is. Just straight up. And especially, even last week, yes, Denver jumped out to this big lead against the Chargers, obviously. But a lot of it was like the Chargers doing, if they had just played Eckler 90% of the time, they probably would have won the game. But no, they had to get Melvin Gordon going. And he never got going. And it milked the clock on them. If they ever wanted to have a chance to come back, it made them really predictable with what they were going to do. And then Denver just kind of sat on their lead. That was it. And Denver can't stop the run. And I don't love Derrick Henry, but this is a game where Derrick Henry goes mental.
I feel like the Titans are not going to punt 4th and 2 from inside the opponent's territory. I feel like that's not going to happen. The Titans are a respectable team. I think Buffalo's a really, really, really good football team. So to lose a game 14-7 to them at home is no injury. I take no discouragement from that game from them. So I just think the Titans team are better. I don't like this Denver team. I haven't all season. So you're going to give me the Titans and points. I'm going to take them. I think they win the game.
Coin's going with Denver. Jeffrey.
Denver.
Any reason?
Because they beat the Chargers.
No, I don't know. I don't think very highly of the Titans at all. I'm just taking plus points, and you get over 2.5, which is a key number for the Titans because they're so prone to winning a game by 2 or going for the 2-point conversion instead of tying it, which guarantees that you win your spread.
They're the dog, you realize.
Yeah.
Pardon?
It's Denver -2.
Dog. Denver's laying 2.
Denver.
Okay. I feel like these teams are so much the same.
Yeah, it's all. Don't worry, I got so confused last week. I thought I was getting
Let's not
3 with
waste
Cincinnati.
time.
With Cincinnati.
We know where we're going to need the time.
We don't need any goddamn time.
Yes, we do.
Okay, Sunday night game. The Chargers.
Oh, we're already here.
Are 6.5-point favorites at home against the Steelers. 41 is the over-under. If we want to talk about what the biggest Ander curses are of the season for the 3rd annual Custies, are the Jets or Chargers winning in the clubhouse right now? Because the Chargers are now down Mike Pouncey, who was placed on IR earlier today.
No one was hurt when he cussed at us.
Not a single person.
No one. To many of the viewing public will think that was the day it ended, and I should have known. In hindsight, to me, the day it ended was the day we were golfing and Derwin got hurt. But it's just too much now. It's just too key. The offensive line, a point of question mark weakness to begin with. No Russell, Okun, no Pouncey, dead. The secondary doesn't have 3 of the 4 bodies. We're so generic. Henry is now apparently maybe
close to coming back
or something, but in Ingram, it's too many bodies. We can't overcome. We can't take advantage of games that, every game we've lost, we were at least by a public perception, Vegas wise, we were favored in. I'll be quick. And then I'll say something else. this is like the first time ever I'm tempted to, on the show, put a Pittsburgh down there. I don't understand the spread, Pat.
I do.
Outside of quarter,
I do.
I do. It's because you've got a third string QB whose first ever NFL start is going to be in Sunday Night Football. No one's ever heard of him.
Is he playing? Because I saw the other guy was practicing.
Mason Rudolph. I thought Hodges was playing.
And
I thought
outside
Hodges
of
was-
quarterback, is there a unit the Chargers are currently better than Pittsburgh at? Like that you would say for certainty?
Question from the audience, sir.
Last time I remember a quarterback that nobody had ever heard of before coming into a primetime game. It was the night that Tim got upset that Nick Mullins was verified on Twitter.
Oh, here's
And
some
he had a hell of a
49ers news. Tim, your main man, Mike McGlinchey, out 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, that's unfortunate. He's a fantastic.
So
offensive
they're down both their
So,
tackles
listen,
now too.
You know, when I don't know. This Chargers team when healthy, I thought would be very, very good.
I think the
this year.
Chargers offense is significantly better than the Steelers offense. Like, I think
Do you know what the Chargers are right now? They are
sleeping giants.
when we have our bodies, we can be so exotic. We are like the Sundowner on a Saturday night. We can do anything we want. The world is our oyster. Derwin could play 5 positions. We come at you from anything. We can scheme you to death. We got nothing now. We're generic. We are, you know what we are right now? We are Tim's coagulated, reheated toast. Like we're generic, preservative filled. There's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. The Broncos schemed us to death and took us right out of the goddamn game. And I tweeted, you respect Melvin Gordon today? We're going to lose before the game starts.
Well, like that reheated toast, I really like the Chargers too. We're going to tease them down to a pick to the last end. They are not losing this game. The Steelers are not going on the road to win the Sunday night game. The Steelers
I've been to Sunday night football at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego.
And there's more Steelers fans there for that one.
Versus the Chargers. That was like 80-20. It was such a great night. Jamal Williams just ate Roethlisberger, like Rivers LT. Oh, what a glorious
Is Melvin
night.
Ingram playing?
I don't know. I don't even
Is
look
Perriman
anymore.
playing? I saw him limp off the field.
I don't look anymore. So that was a huge, and now that we're in LA, it's going to be like 90-10 crowd discrepancy.
I'd say like
maybe.
Okay, maybe.
99 to 1.
Okay, you're probably right. And we gotta just pour one out, guys, because an NFL legend, maybe not a legend, but an all-time great is dead. He's dead. Get him off my field. He can't walk. He can't move. He can't tackle. Thomas Davis, bye. What a shit signing. Holy fuck. No, he can't do anything. He can't even secure, like, you're meeting the guy in the hole, one-on-one. It's a 3-yard carry. You get blown over, man.
What did you think about the head coaching?
It was probably the worst. I mean, the Wisenhunt has me. He's in my crosshairs right now, too.
I saw.
I respect the defense, but I want to say, because, you know, they sucked early and they really held it together and gave us a chance. But I think Denver was just trying to run out the clock, Pat. But you cannot start like that. Where's the intensity to start a game? You get mopped. Denver ran 3 plays for 30 yards a clip, I think, to start. And it looked they knew exactly what to do. These guys were running free. When you got 2 safeties that have never played like a down before in pro football, you got to have the worst quarterback on the planet to not be able to take advantage of that. And maybe Flacco's close, but he's not there, I guess.
And this Hodges guy might be better than Mason Rudolph. We don't know.
No, I doubt it. Who is it?
He went to Samford and Sons.
That's who the Chargers are playing?
Yeah.
I don't even go on the internet when we lose.
The coin,
Except the Twitter.
the coin likes the Steelers. So are you taking the Steelers or Chargers?
No, I'll take the Chargers. I thought 7 would be a key number, though.
I kind of want to take the Chargers too, but the one thing that gives me some pause is just the pass rush of the Steelers has been really good
Yeah.
over the past 2 weeks, and I don't know who's blocking them.
Eat it.
That means you have okay.
I hate Melvin Gordon.
The Chargers run like 3 plays now. They can try to like dump it off. And remember the last time these 2 teams played? I think it was on Sunday Night Football that they put a linebacker on Keenan Allen. He had like
that was
17 catches.
Great game.
I assume Minka Fitzpatrick tries to cover him now.
Yeah, I
So maybe
guess.
that helps a little bit. So it's going to be like little dump to Eckler, little dump to Keenan Allen, run it up the middle for nothing with Melvin Gordon because you don't have an offensive line to block for him.
Why did you have to come back? Like, we could do 3 yards of carry without this fucking clown.
I think Mike Williams catches a touchdown in this game. I think it's
About time?
I think it's 3-1.
Sick.
to catch
How many
an
times
anytime
does his
touchdown?
back hurt before he makes a play?
So you're out on him now.
No, I mean, the guy can't last a quarter, man.
Question.
Please, Tim, like apologize to Geoff at this point. Like you're laughing at his demise. Like look at the guy's broken. You've broken
It
him down.
hurts
You broke down
because
his
this
team.
year I actually thought we were capable of something. And you know what the cherry on top of all the injuries? All of it. It's all horrible. It's all disgusting. What makes it above and beyond and might make him responsible? I say might. You guys might say
No,
for sure.
I'm definitely not responsible.
This was the first time since maybe John Carney that I came into the year like all summer. We got a great kicking situation. In the Friday walkthrough before week 1, Badgley's hurt. He hasn't kicked once. Tim owned him in fantasy. Kicker stability for the first
Then I
time
picked
in
up
like 15 years.
Oh, hold on. You said you picked up Gostkowski after that?
Yes.
Oh, that's just
Like, I can't imagine thinking the Chargers, and I'm not the only one, like the Chargers entering this year actually had kicker stability.
When I gave out my best bet on the AFC preview show, I just embraced the Andrew curse and said Chargers under. That's the way we all should have played it. You should.
I like the Bolts big here. I think the statement game on prime time to get them back in this. The Chiefs could very well lose 2 in a row. I think that's certainly live. I think the Chargers could roar right back into division contention, and they haven't played the Chiefs yet. So I think this is a very, very big must-win.
Who do you think we are, man?
I am actually kind of listen. I think the Chargers win. They don't cover this game, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh plus the 6.5. But if the Chargers can tread water until
That's it.
middle of November, they will basically have most of their important people back. Then all of a sudden, they want to Pouncey back, obviously. But if Okung
It gets
can come,
hard though, Pat.
I get that it gets hard, but you have all the good players back. That's good.
If you're within 2 games of the division by the time you go to Mexico City, I like your chances.
And it's not even that. It's Tim's talking about how like the path through the Jets to make the playoffs in the
I
AFC.
wish I had the Jets
6th
schedule.
seed in the AFC is incredibly wide open. It could potentially be 8-8.
I've got to play that entire NFC North in like a month.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I don't know, because we might get a Super Bowl matchup. Like Tim
Okay,
does.
I needed to go 4-0 against the Broncos and Raiders. We'll be lucky to go 500. And it's right now. We have the 9th pick. That's a great spot.
to trade for Ramsey now. Now that the pick looks good,
Let me return. We can't trade for Ramsey.
you only have 4 minutes here.
No, we can't trade for Ramsey. That's off the table. We have to keep the pick now. We have to, well, obviously win more games because we're like not horrible, but we're going to draft like 16, 17, 18. And maybe that is like high enough to be able to package to get where they'll need to get because they can, if they don't let the next QB live in the world of Phillip for like a year, I will lose my mind.
You can teach him how to not win Super Bowls.
Whatever. If that's what it entails to do what Phil did, then yeah, I'll fucking take it, you smarmy punk.
Monday night, 2 of those teams that you're going to need to beat, Detroit at Green
We
Bay.
already lost to one of them. Don't
All right,
worry.
that's true. I forgot about that. -4. Green Bay is favored at home. This game opened at 5.5.
People
down
love,
to
love
4 already.
Les Lions.
47 is the over/under.
Lions.
I get the 5.5 bet on Detroit. I don't really have a particular feel for this game either way. I'm going to take Green Bay. It's at home. I prefer their quarterback, and I think defensive wise, Green Bay stacks up with Detroit pretty much even. And if we turn to offense, Green Bay I think has a better offense, and we're not sure if Devontae Adams is playing or not, but I'll still take Green Bay here.
Yeah, I have real respect for this Lions team right now, coming off a
Don't
bye.
pick against them.
But I just don't like picking against the Packers in Lambeau in prime time. Yeah, the Rams, the Eagles did beat them, so that's fair enough. This is by no means like
the Eagles beat them, and hero Nick Mullins went into Lambeau and covered the spread against them last year.
Yeah, anyway.
Verified on Twitter, Nick Mullins.
Sure, fine, whatever. You're not going to annoy me. You know, Mullins gets replaced by Garoppolo, and the Niners are the best team of football. Gee, what a shock. The point I'm trying to make is I respect the Lions. I think the Lions could totally cover. I think they could totally win. I'm not picking them, but that is not a play against the Lions. It's just I think the Packers are a darn good team, and I like being on the side of the Packers and Lambeau at night. So that doesn't sound like all that in-depth of an analysis, but that's the way I see it, and that's what I'm taking.
The Packers are suffering from Patriot syndrome right now. They keep winning these games and not looking particularly good on offense. And
Well, I thought they played very well against Dallas. I mean, they were my super lock last week for a reason. I thought they would disassemble, and they did.
they played really well on defense last week, minus trying to cover Amari Cooper. But a lot of that came when they were down in that game, or they were way up in the game, and they allowed Dallas to come back. So, Geoff, it's around to Green Bay.
Then just give me Detroit.
Taking Detroit?
Yeah.
You want to go against the coin?
Yeah.
All right. Very quickly. Super locks of the week. I'm locking in New England minus 16.5. Tim.
I'm going to take the Titans +2.
That was my second choice, actually. So I like it.
Jeff's going to have to take the Saints or the Jags, right?
It's the Jags or the Jets.
Take the Jets.
I'll
Do it to him.
I'll take the Jets. Yeah.
Nice.
New York Jets +7.
That's a bad.
Favorite?
That's a bad number, but I'll
Your
take it.
favorite and second favorite teams are going to win this week.
I'm thinking.
Well, I mean, your favorite team is playing your second favorite team this week, Tim.
Do you want to know something? Well, we don't have time.
Yeah, you got to go. Right on the dot, I told you I'd get you out of here.
Yeah. My wife always wanted me to be a Chiefs fan
Why?
because my nickname to my entire inner circle my whole life was like the Chief.
Is it because you just constantly went around dressed as Chief Wahoo?
No, it's because like
Your proclivity for the chop?
no, it was just like a summer camp thing. Like at a 10 and under baseball tryout, I just one of these things, like a coach or something called me the Chief, and then like my friends called me Chief, and then like people around. So then it became a thing. And then when I met my wife, she's like, you should really be a Chiefs fan. And she always holds that to me. And I'm like, no. But there's like random people that think I'm a Chiefs fan because of that.
Okay.
Like in my life. But no. Anyways, I'm going to Vegas this week. So
And you got to break your fast. That's why you got to get out of here.
yeah, I'll break my fast.
Are you hungry?
No, I sinned already today.
I do a fast once a month, a 24-hour fast.
Why?
No,
Like not even like a
That's-
shake? Like a
no, like nothing.
is
Like,
that a good thing?
like water. No, it's like just a part of my diet.
To accomplish like just
I like
I don't
to
know.
no, because I go for like an 8-mile run on that day as well, so it just burns pure fat.
So did you notice you lose like extra amount of weight?
No, because
that
I
way?
keep myself hydrated the entire time. I drink water.
Now I'm like trying to not go to this.
Yeah, now you
thing.
don't want to go. What do you guys have?
Well, Tim's jealous because
Yeah.
Tim loves my like full
Yeah,
family.
well, there's nothing
like,
Tim enjoys more than
18-person
like traditional sit down dinner type places. Like I'd blow my fucking brains out. I can barely get through Christmas dinner.
But it's not like sit down traditional. It's like buffet style. And I thought I would just be able to sit and watch the baseball game, but who's got interest in that?
It's 11-0.
So the big thing, like I mean, Christmas dinner used to be like fine for us because like my aunt. So I'm an only child, which is probably not shocking to anyone watching this. But it's my mom, her sister, her younger sister, and her younger brother. But my aunt, she always would have like a new boyfriend at Christmas who would come over, and we would just spend like 3 hours making fun of this dude. And now like she doesn't bring anyone over anymore, so it's a lot less fun.
Speaking
Tim's-
of which, happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian listeners because we won't talk to them until afterwards.
Guess who's working on Canadian Thanksgiving? No days off. I'm like Des Bryant when he went to the draft. He didn't go to the draft. Everyone else is there being drafted in the first round. Tim, you know what Des Bryant said?
He would rather take the day and work out.
Get an extra day of working out on everyone.
I'll also be here.
Tell me, Tim, your free money teaser again?
My free money teaser for this week is the New England Patriots, the New York Jets, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Tennessee Titans, and the Los Angeles Chargers. It's a 6.5 point teaser.
All right, so if you out there want to get into a draw for 20 DK bucks, what you need to do is smash the like button for the episode, leave your DraftKings handle in the comment section. Tell me your favorite spread of the week, same thing you do if you do the audio podcast review, 5 stars, something nice about the show, DraftKings handle, winners announced on Mondays. The cheat sheet will be up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/the PME, and I'll be back on Friday with Chris Meany recapping the week. I want to say thanks to Geoff Fienberg. You can follow him at Twitter at gfeinberg17, and always the coin and Tim Andergust.
Tim Andergust.
That's not my name.
Heard it was.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, and of course you can follow me at the PME wherever social media exists. At the PME is owned by Pat Mayo. I want to thank you all for watching. Remember to leave the time codes, the parts that you like, at the bottom, because that goes a long way in helping me keep everything going for the rest of the season. We have best ofs, and we're not around during Christmas time that we'll have new content to, well, at least repurposed content, but good content to put out. Content that people like. Anyway, I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
That Mayo experience! Experience!